Now, normally I'm going to start these things off on a very excitable, happy note, but we have some very serious business that we need to attend to here first. So, before we start, we need to address something that's been going on here in the past week, and this is an intervention. So, I'm TGE, that's Chameleon Ice, Crimson Avix, OPT Lawyer, Dark is not on camera, and we're here to have an intervention for Nora, because Nora has become obsessed. And Nora has just lost himself in farming. So we are here right now to stage an intervention to save Norestra from having to pick any more blueberries.
I know.
So if anyone would like to speak up and address this horrible addiction called Stardew Valley, please go ahead and speak up now.
I mean, the problem is that he attempted to draw Cham into it, too. Did you see that? Like, he was trying
He forced me to do field work.
He was trying to pull other people into his obsession.
What? Hey!
That's where it starts, man,
Anybody else have any words they'd like to say before we get this intervention officially underway?
Nora?
Can't hear you.
Cram, you're muted.
I'm definitely using push to talk.
There you are.
I was definitely using push to talk. But no, I don't want anything to say now, because you know what? You guys suck.
Okay.
Well, we understand this, but we're not here about the suckage. We're here about Nora and his obsession with farming, and it really needs to be addressed.
Cham.
Yes.
I'll pay you $1,000 fake dollars if you burn down the farm.
And I'll sweeten the pot with a hero point.
Ooh. I'll take it under consideration.
Dude, that's 1,000 fake internet dollars. That's like amazing.
It is amazing.
It really
I'll
is.
give you SRL points to not do it.
He doesn't know.
Useful.
He doesn't know what SRL points are.
I really
All the
don't.
better then.
I mean, at least Cham can find the bow. Anyway, that's an inside joke.
Okay.
Welcome, everybody, to Bay City Chronicles. This is Volume 5, Sanctuary City, Issue 9. My name is Gail. On the cover, we've got a stark background. A stark black background.
I thought
At
you
least
were
I
going
can
to say.
speak.
I thought you were going to say it to start background. I'm like, Tony Stark is paying for us to actually make these comics now?
You know he is.
No kidding. But against this stark black background, there is a full portrait drawing of Seraphim. Solstice's Gail Mistral. Superimposed on top of him is Phantasm. And superimposed on top of that is Spectre. All three sort of looking directly at you from the comic page. In the bottom corner of the page, there is a glossy sticker with two planets colliding into one another, signifying this is a part of the Worlds Collide event. We open the front cover, and you're not actually standing back in front of Solstice as you would expect, or in front of Virgo as you would expect, where, considering the name of the comic, but instead, we are back in the Solstice version of Bay City. Whoop! Where we're picking back up with Anton, who the last we saw was beating the mush out of some green armor-clad bloke. So it's been about, 3 or 4 hours since they left and did their thing over at Virgo. What have you been doing in the interim?
Just exploring the city, tore that guy to pieces and just kind of looked around, walked down the pier, hang out.
So for the most part, everything seems like from an architecture thing, everything seems pretty, normal to what you're used to in your version of Bay City. But the tension is, you can definitely feel a tension in the air. It's definitely ratcheted up. Whereas in the Bay City, there'd be people walking around talking, some farmers markets here and there. there's not, like, if there are people out and about walking, they're keeping their heads down, they're walking straight. There's not a lot of interaction. There's not a lot of communication. It's a little strange.
So I'm more interested in the docks area, kind of where we originally started the whole show.
Okay, so what are you interested in the docks?
Kind of just looking around for any signs of Gendine or its existence. And I can't speak either, apparently.
No. Well, I mean, you don't see anything down by the docks, taking up at your normal haunt. So, where specifically are you looking? Are you looking down there? Are you looking? Well, I'll have you answer the question.
So, kind of like at the. Oh, we're sponsored by Coke now?
No.
Okay. Off. Kind of like where Barry's Pier was in Fish area. That area.
Okay. So you get the sort of same scene I described a couple weeks ago with Lutra down here. That there's really not a whole lot of action. You get sort of an empty pier looking thing. As a matter of fact, you get an empty pier.
Hey, empty pier on standby. Cool.
I do have an empty pier on standby, which is weird. I mean, the water itself looks pretty much as beautiful as you're seeing here. It's a little colder than this picture would say, because this is, San Francisco, California area. So it's a little bit chillier. But like I said, aside from like a little bit of like the 3 or 4 different, obvious mutants working, the fish market area, there's really not a lot going on down here, which is a little disconcerting.
So Anton's not going to pay too much attention to that, as it's a dock. It's whatever. It's not necessarily always going to be busy, but he's going to take off and probably head kind of towards the north where he saw the team fly off to.
Well, you didn't see them fly off. They just teleported. So you would not have seen them fly off at all.
Okay, so then back towards, I guess, Stormbreaker.
Okay. Before you do that, before you head off there, you're sort of sitting here on this pier, and you look out over the water, and you notice something. You notice rippling, bubbling. What do you do?
Is it like little small ripples, or like, is it like a large bubbling like?
It starts off as like some small bubbles and some ripples, and then it sort of like gets bigger. And they're like, the longer you wait, the more furiously rippling and bubbling is sort of happening there.
Yeah, it's not normal. Let's see here. What do I have on my sheet here? Don't have my sheet. Oops.
So yeah, we get a comic panel that's just like a close up on this, on the water, and as we get a close up look, it's not just bubbling and rippling, it's hissing.
I mean, the hissing's kind of a thing. So at this point, I think Anton's going to not necessarily venture into the water.
But
oh, yeah, actually, we'll venture into the water. Yeah, let's see what happens.
okay, so describe how you are making your way out to this bubbling, rippling, hissing section.
So Anton's going to kind of just walk out into the water. He's got his nanotech armor kind of activated into armor mode, and it's going to just walk out and see what he can see in the water.
Okay, so roll me a perception check. Well, I mean, obviously, we can tell Dark's back because the dice are being crap.
Welcome back, Dark.
So as you dip your head under the water, it's a little bit hard to see, and not because the water's not clear, because it should be, but that heat haze that sometimes rises off like the tar on a really hot day. You're getting this heat haze underwater, so you really can't tell what's behind this heat haze, but you're getting underwater heat haze.
That's a little alarming. Yeah, I think Anton's going to hop out of the water at this point,
Okay.
get back up on the dock, and we're going to turn the Anton into a large fishing net.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and make a ranged attack roll to hit with the fishing net.
Do I have
You can
a
use
range?
you can use any of your Anton ranged attack rolls to do that with, because they all would qualify if you have one. If not, it is a dexterity roll.
Hi, Dark.
So, you cast out this fishing net, and you are 100% correct with your prediction, as it takes you a little while to reel this in. But you've reeled yourself in a Malkier.
Oh,
Oh, not here. What are you doing?
So,
What?
Malkier, the last thing you remember was cutting that coin in half and being whisked away in some sort of portal, and now you're being extracted from the water in a fishing net by Anton.
Get me out, please.
Sure. Anton presses a couple of buttons, and the Anton turns it back into the armor, and the fishing net and the vice are all gone.
So Malkier would stand up off the ground and start picking seaweed out of his hair, looking rather annoyed.
Hey, save that. We can use it to make sushi.
Ooh.
Malkier kind of just flicks a piece at him, hits him right in the forehead. So, care to explain to me where we are?
About that. Yeah. So, yeah, we went up in the spaceship. We came back down, and it's not quite Bay City, but it's still Bay City.
Okay, so where are the others then? Because I know if you're here, they have to be lurking somewhere.
Well, they were at. Well, okay. At least Lutra and Kestrel were at Stormbreaker Tech when I left, but I don't know. I haven't been back there yet. But yeah, this Casey is a little less flamboyant, so just, don't be surprised. You don't need sunglasses to see him.
By the way, back up for a second.
Anton just takes quite a few steps back.
So with that, Malkier snaps his fingers and just incinerates himself into a pile of ash, then reforms back fully dried off.
I'm just picturing full on like Hades from Hercules getting all red.
That's a nifty trick.
Well, suppose we should get moving and go find the others, because I know they probably need us.
Yeah, I'm sure the otter's gotten into some sort of trouble.
Who's
Lutra,
that
over
other
Virgo, your ears start
guy
singing.
thing, by the
Ringing.
way? Anton. Once he's done with Dad percent.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who is the other member, apparently, by the way?
Other member.
I don't know, that's another talking animal, I guess.
Oh, Kestrel. Yeah. He's fast. Kind of useful with a pile driver.
Does he talk a lot like the other one?
Not as much. He's much more agile of the mind, less fish thoughts.
Malkier kind of just hops and starts walking.
So
Do you
as
have
you
a
guys,
vehicle or something up that we can get out of here?
Anton pushes a button on the suit, and this gaudy gold car appears.
I swear to all things holy, if this thing breaks down, I'm not pushing it. Malkier kind of just opens the front driver door and gets inside it.
It's nanotech. It can fly. We're going faster than that.
whoosh, and we use the last page of the comic is just the car. Just instead of driving off, it just lifts off the ground and just starts rocketing off Jetson style.
I'm just picturing Men in Black with the subway.
Yo, yes, that's exactly it. So you guys are, back at Stormbreaker Tech, and I'm pretty sure I know where this is going, but I will let you describe it since you're driving.
So, on approach to the roof, because of course it's the roof, the bright, gaudy, cold car comes in for a landing. This is the first time we've used this feature, so the landing's about as good as the otter flying. Kind of bounces a few times.
I just picture half of it hanging off the top of the building.
Hey, any landing that you could walk away from is a good landing.
Do you really want me to hurl in your new car?
It has an auto clean feature.
It has an auto clean feature.
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard, too.
It does work on otters too. When we see Lutra again, we'll clean his fur. He probably needs it. I don't think he's had a bath in a while.
So you said there's been changes here. What's going on? You gotta fill me in.
Well, yeah. So the evil crazy lady that we were going after with the satellite.
The space laser? That's not a space laser.
Yeah, the space laser thingy. Turns out she was working with some apparent demon, I think. I don't know. He was weird.
So just another day in the neighborhood for us.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, nothing out of the nothing out of our normal day routine here. Just Casey's a little bit more mellow. There's more superheroes here that are kind of working with us, and yeah, the guy who's president looks an awful lot like Gail.
As you're having this conversation, just hear the entire point of using this is to not attract attention. Where did you get something this gaudy? And you recognize Oliver. You, Malkier, see this sort of Dark. Have you ever seen this Static Shock cartoon?
No.
Okay. Basically, I will bring up a picture, but you basically have this button. This guy standing in front of you.
Okay.
And he's got the look of not murder in his eyes, but at least annoyance. And he's directing it all at Anton.
And you are?
Oliver Casey.
Is that supposed to mean something to me?
Well, if you're with him, probably not, because I assume you're also not from around here.
Well, you know what they say about assumptions, and I know I'm not the ass.
He looks over at Anton. So you finally have someone who at least has some bit of sarcastic wit. I think I'm going to like
just don't
this
ask.
one.
Just don't ask him to do a Sudoku.
I've done all the Sudokus in here. They're quite easy, actually.
Well, it's gone. Anton pushes a couple of buttons to make the Anton go away.
Of all the things you could have turned that into, a gaudy gold-plated DeLorean was your best bet?
I liked it. Get over it.
He's not very swift.
Obviously not. By the way, if you're looking for your friends, they've already gone off to Virgo.
Where's Virgo?
Oh, that's right. You don't know the name. Anyway, inside we'll have the conversation down there. I forget you don't know the names, the translated names, but here in Solstice, as you well know, Mr. Wolf, if you don't, Mr. He looks at you. You didn't introduce yourself.
Well, I think you probably know who I am already. I think you're a little more in touch than you are letting yourself on to be.
He just looks. Last time I tried being nice.
That was nice.
No, it's our last chance.
Yes. So basically, there's a civil war happening here between mutants and mutants, determining whether or not that there's one side that thinks a mutant should be living correctly with interspersed with non-powered folk, and then there's the other half that aren't. And there are 12 cities throughout the North American continent here on Solstice. I say North American, so you know what I'm talking about. That have been transformed into walled sanctuary cities for the non-powered individuals. They can choose to stay in the non-sanctuary cities, but for the most part, a good portion of the non-powered population lives there. Virgo is what you would refer to, assuming that your North American continent is the same as ours, which what you would refer to as Helena. They went off there because there was a disturbance. I was about to go off on patrols here because with the president and everyone off, it leaves us here slightly vulnerable to attack, especially if Blackheart is back.
Blackheart?
Yes, I believe you know her as, depending on what name she goes by, Carla?
Oh, yes. Her. I have not heard her use that name yet.
Yes, it's kind of what we refer to her. So, the only question I have, and he looks at Malkier, I know how him, the squirrel, and the otter got here. How the hell did you get here? Because that's intriguing.
So Malkier kind of thinks for a second, then looks back over at Oliver and just goes, "Fishing net."
We just get the last pin on that page. It's just like the visor coming up and him just having this look of what the hell on his face. Just like, what? And now we're going to turn the page. Yeah, that's a great cut line, by the way. We're going to turn the page. And now we are standing back in front of Virgo, the walled city of Virgo. And the last thing we saw here was the ending line of last week, where it was, well, that's funny, my name is Gail Mistral. So that's where we left last week, and that's where this scene is exactly picking up.
So, the moment Gail sets his hand out towards Lutra and says that, Lutra takes a step backwards and trips over his own tail and falls backwards onto the ground. It just looks up at us like, huh? What? What do you mean? What? Huh? He looks in shock.
Meanwhile, Cass was kind of looking at Lutra and then looking at who we thought was Seraphim.
I mean, he's still Seraphim.
Oh, he's still Seraphim. But he still looks over at Seraphim and he's like thinking like, Gail, like, yeah, that is that name. Lutra, does he look like Gail did?
I don't actually know.
To be fair, you didn't recognize him.
Lutra, roll an insight check.
Yeah.
Right.
I was given a number here, so. Krim, that's on you, bro. He hit the number exactly.
I don't even have roll 20 up, so what do you roll?
He hit your 25 exactly.
So Seraphim actually doesn't look anything like Gale, as you know him. The white hair is definitely different. All the scars that Gale had aren't there, etc. But behind the longer hair that Seraphim has, the facial construct is similar to Gale's. So you definitely can see Gale in the facial construct, but that's really about it.
Gotcha. Almost like I'd be looking at a relative kind of thing?
Yeah, or, one of those weird things where you look at, like, an old-time picture and it looks like a celebrity or something like that.
Gotcha. So, Lucha kind of not lays there, but, like, sits there for a moment, and after he's kind of put all of that together, he scrambles to his feet, and instead of shaking your hand, he just runs directly at you and hugs you tightly and starts bawling his eyes out.
Aww. You don't understand, Seraphim. He's been kind of waiting for this for a long time.
Seraphim looks over at Kestrel and he's like, is this your version of a handshake?
For as often as this happens, you might think that. But no, you look a lot like a friend that, he had back on our home.
That seems fair enough. I'm assuming Gale back home?
Well, not my back home. Specifically, it's kind of complicated.
Lucha's kind of nodding, but he's not saying much other than babbling out tears in his eyes.
From what I got, it involves some sort of time travel, dimension. What was her name? Not Cersei. Kismet, and a sacrifice. And yeah, so it's a lot of weirdness, but it's somebody that Lutra.
Well, that's quite interesting. Yeah, here... I didn't really go on any really strange expeditions. I just sort of was escalated into the position I'm currently in. So, I mean, part of it is just because, at least in our world, I'm sort of the counterbalance to Kismet's power. All the power that Kismet had, I was able to counterbalance it. But yeah.
Wait, how? Like, are you? Wait, you don't do any sort of like dimension hopping or stuff, do you?
No. Kismet held a lot of dark energy. Extremely, extremely powerful dark energy. And, well, mine is sort of the opposite. I mean, I have a lot of light energy.
Oh.
And it goes a little bit beyond that, but deals a lot with different types of magic and everything.
Okay. Well, that explains your like the abilities that you just showed in that fight, you were able to do some crazy things.
Yeah. Well, here, in addition to your normal magic and, the control of different elements, there is dimensional magic, which is something that Kismet possessed. It's also something that who as Carla possessed as well, or possesses still. And my magic sort of counters that, and we quantify it as fate magic, being able to control and manipulate instances, so they can create dimensions or jump dimensions, and we can sort of try to stop that, at least me and the others with abilities like me.
Castor actually flies over to Lutra, and he pats him on the shoulder, like, put down and kind of shakes him a little bit and goes, Lutra, not to interrupt, but does that sound like anything that Gail used to do when you knew him? Are you gonna be okay?
If somebody could look like they haven't really been paying attention to what's been being said, Lucha would totally look like this right now. He gives a couple of sniffles and finally kind of like pulls away and meekly says, "Sorry. Would you ask me, Kestrel?"
Gail, or Seraphim, or Sarah Gail. Mr. President was telling us about the abilities he can use and how it's tied to Kismet. And how it's tied to how it's tied to Carla Salome. And how he's like using light magic and abilities and such. I just wondered if that sounded anything like the Gail you know. Like maybe they're actually connected somehow.
Phantasm's magic was wind powered. Interesting though. Your magic's tied or counters Kismet, and yet Phantasm kind of was the counter to Kismet too, the one outside of Fate.
Outside of Fate?
That's why he kept calling himself the... Oh, there's a name for it, I don't remember.
Lionheart speaks up at this point. Mutants and Masterminds.
That
Oh,
one.
I forgot you were here.
Yeah, that
He's
one.
just been sort of sitting there.
That's the name he kept referring to himself as, or being referred to as.
So there he was outside of Fate, but here my magic's considered Fate.
That's kind of a weird connection to have.
Lucha looks over and says, "Yeah, that's the weird connection."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I never thought I'd get to see... Well, I know you're not the same Gale, but it just felt right, sorry.
I'm not offended.
Oh, good.
So you could use a shower.
It's been a long day. Couple days.
Yeah.
For the record, Seraphim, he smells like day-old wind magic, stale fish, and energy drink.
As I said, he smells weird.
Right.
I'm just giving you the official description.
But I understand, like, it's... You don't have to be worried about that, Lutra. I mean, he's about as close as you got right now, right? Maybe there is a connection, like, when there's fate magic involved and all that crazy dimensional stuff. Like, you never know.
I thought fate magic was the worst we're going to have to deal with. This whole hopping dimensions thing is making my head hurt. Or that could be the fact that we just got done fighting 2 Actually, I think it's that. Ow.
Aw. Hey, you have that healing thing that you just did to me. Maybe can you do it to yourself? Maybe that'll help you out.
I'm fine. Lutra waves his hands. I don't even know how that worked, and I don't know if I want to try it again right now.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm fine. So he looks over towards Seraphim and says, "So, you said something when we first met that's maybe making a little bit more sense now. You asked us why we look so familiar. Is there any way that you were connected to our world's Gale? Subconsciously or something?"
I mean, I wouldn't put it outside the possibility. I mean, you heard of the theory of parallel universes, I'm assuming, that, basically for every instance that you could conceivably think about yourself, there is that version of yourself in some dimension somewhere. It's theorized that subconsciously those beings may be connected. Those thoughts, minds, and everything else might be connected and just not aware of it. So there's a very good possibility.
Oh my.
Yes, but it's interesting because before I got here, I was having a conversation with Sirocco, and he mentioned that he felt residual bits of his magic within the auto here, which is especially interesting considering he's never met them. So I'm going to assume that there is another version of our friend Sirocco also in there.
What's his real name?
It's kind of him.
That is not my place to give out people's real name.
Ooh, we can guess.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was a thing here. I didn't mean any offense by that.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just not my place. If you tell me you've met him and I know you've met him, I will say it, and I know that.
Oh. Okay, I guess I could tell you that. But just starts rattling names off.
Okay, that's quite enough.
Oh, okay.
Yes. That would be Ven.
Oh. Oh, cool.
I mean, it makes sense. He's the only magic that's kind of been in you lately.
Yeah.
And he doesn't go by Sirocco in your world?
No, he goes by Ven in our world. We don't really have, like...
Well, he goes by Ven in this world, too. Sirocco is his hero name.
Yeah, we don't really have a lot of people that use hero names in our world.
Not me.
Yeah, not anymore.
Here, it's something that's sort of been adopted more so as a way of mutants sort of differentiating themselves from everyday humans.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, I was just thinking. Ven did use a different name, but not when we knew him. Like 15 years in the future.
Ooh.
Zephyr?
Okay, they're both going to see if that will work. But wait. 15 years in the... Oh, wait. Auntie Kismet was involved in that. Yeah.
I told you time travel was in.
Yes, I forget Auntie Kismet.
Yeah.
I still hate the fact that I call her that, but...
Why do you?
Because it's what she was growing up. It's one of those things, I can't help it.
Oh, I
Fair enough. Yeah,
It's kind of like how every time Dr. Casey sees the president, he looks at him and goes, "I'm not calling you Mr. President. I've known you too long." It's one of those things.
Yeah, it's I'm tired. What's the plan now? What do we do now?
Good question, Mr. President.
Well, I mean, my main concern is that there will be more attacks on some of these sanctuary cities because there's normally attacks on sanctuary cities, but we need to find out what Salome's next move is, because obviously she's not going to be happy that she failed, and even more so if she finds out that you are here with her, she will become hunting for you.
Oh,
I guess I should go make a visit then to my mother and welcome her home with open arms.
Is that code for
Yeah,
punching
we'll
her?
see.
What's up?
Is that code for punching her?
No, that's not code for punching her. That's code for going to pretend like I'm still on her side.
Oh, right.
a double agent. Nice.
You've
Yes.
been quite a good double agent.
Yes, but let me tell you right now, being a double agent definitely makes for a wonderful conversation around at Thanksgiving.
I'll bet.
Don't ask. It's a weird story and something to do with Auntie Kismet and losing a bet to a turkey god. And don't ask.
For thanks, I like want to know.
Turkey god? Huh.
It's like the real Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Apparently, when she first got her powers, she entered into a bowling match with a turkey god and lost. So she's not allowed to eat turkey anymore. Again, I don't know what happened. I don't want to know what happened. Just suffice to say, there's a reason that bowling 3 strikes in a row is called a turkey, and it has something to do with that story.
I've liked so much.
I always wondered why they called it that.
Well, now you know.
Yeah, it had to do with Auntie Kismet losing a bet and getting really drunk before she lost her mind.
Fair.
In any case, so you're gonna go off and play double agent, with your aunt.
No, with my mother.
With your mother. Sorry. You're gonna go off and play double agent with your mother, and we'll go back. We'll try to figure out what her plan is, right? But can't you just ask her?
Yes, because she's going to tell me what her grand plan is after being gone for how many years now, is it? Or at least 6, however long? Yeah, no, she's not going to tell me. What she's going to do is she's going to say, "Hey, I need you to go get this done for me," and I'm going to go pretend to do it.
That's good.
Well, there goes that.
I mean, to be fair, if I'm given enough missions, we can piece it together. Although I would imagine, knowing her plan is to probably go back to the sanctum, recharge with the crystal, get her power back, and try again.
Right, the crystal. We had to find that.
I know where it is. I don't know how to get there.
Is it the
Like, I know
Bermuda
it's
Triangle? It's always the Bermuda Triangle.
It's not the bloody Bermuda Triangle.
Dang it.
It's definitely a dodecahedron.
The Hoodecka watching?
Dodecahedron. Do you
Tell us
not
how to-
know what a dodecahedron is?
No. No, I don't.
Probably not that.
No. I mean, he said it, so maybe
He basically, at this point, he brings his hands up and like pulls them together and then does this whole weird thing and sitting in his hand, for all the nerds in the house would recognize a D12.
right.
And it is blue and black, the same magic colors as you've seen him use before. You saw him use in the portal, and he just holds it up. This is a dodecahedron, a 12-sided polygon.
Oh.
He throws it at. Oh, polyhedron. Excuse me, not polygon. Polygon is anyway. You don't care about that. I have to go say hi to my mother now.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
well, good luck. And, just be careful.
this. Hopefully she didn't come with any flames. Last time she came back, he was the worst.
Well, actually, she does have somebody, I think.
Yeah, he's a.
Bloody hell.
Watch out for the guy in the bright red suit and calls himself Jeremiah.
Great. Knowing my mother, she's codenamed him Bullfrog. And with that, he opens himself a portal and steps back through it.
But be sure to punch him for me.
You hear, "Oh, trust me, any excuse is a good one."
Awesome.
So now it's just the three of you standing outside the walls.
Well, cool, that's settled.
Right. Lutra looks back towards the president and says, "Okay, Mr. President, where do we go right now? Do we go back to Stormbreaker, or do we stay here and make sure nothing else happens, or?"
Our alert system for all of our sanctuary cities is good enough that we can head back to Stormbreakers. Obviously, you've learned today that we can get there pretty fast if needed.
Yeah, it's even faster than Kestrel can go.
Yeah, it kind of surprised me, honestly.
He can go really fast.
I can.
I used to be able to go that fast, and that was because I was on drugs, and that's really bad, actually, and I don't want to be on drugs anymore.
It's okay, Luke.
That's okay. I support you not being a druggie.
It doesn't matter if the drugs were really cool. No. You're fine, Lutra. You don't need those things anyway. You're cool enough without them.
It wasn't about me. Never mind. I don't even want to get into it. By the way, I have one other question. Is there any place I can cook something? It's like everyone else is like automated or whatever, and I just want to actually just make something. I'm getting kind of restless.
I mean, if you want, instead of going back to Stormbreaker, I could take you to the presidential palace that is in Bay City.
You have a palace?
Sure, that sounds really cool, actually. Aww.
I'm sure there's a few people that would like for you to cook for them.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great. I just feel like getting my paws all warmed up in the kitchen, just start filleting anything.
We also haven't had a good meal in a long time.
Yeah, he looks over at Kestrel, but yeah, it's like every place around here has got, like Dr. Casey's place he said all automated. There's nowhere for anyone to make anything. It's just, then I couldn't find any place where I could play my music, so I don't know, I felt like I gotta do something, because even fighting right now, it felt so slow.
Yeah. I understand what you mean. It's like you got an itch that you can't scratch. Speaking of which, Lutra?
Yeah?
Remember how you healed me earlier?
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really helpful and effective. I think I think it didn't actually get everything all the way. Like, I actually got a bit of a cut still behind my ear. And it's really irritating me. And it's gonna be kind of hard when I fly and such. Do you think maybe you could try to patch that up again?
Lutra walks over to you and looks behind your ear.
Give me a perception check.
Can this actually be like a treatment check?
If you're just looking to find the cut, perception check.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good perception check.
I mean, it's
there's
plus 18.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Kestrel, I don't see any cut.
Well, it just feels bad. I don't know what's wrong with it.
You probably just scratched it a bit or something. I don't really like using powers like that on nothing, so... Plus, I don't really know how it works, and I might actually, like, heal you way too much and give you, like, double your fur or something like that, so I...
But it's a good way to practice, right?
No, you don't really practice with stuff like that. He pats you on the head.
Okay.
Don't
He
worry.
kind of actually like nuzzles into Lutra's hand and like, no.
He just looks at you curiously. Just kind of shrugs.
It's fine. Whatever.
So we turn the page, and we get an interstitial scene. We don't get the outer view of it. We just sort of get there's a room, and this is the first time in comic that we've seen Blackheart in full Blackheart mode as opposed to in Carla Bryce mode, which is what we've seen before. So I mean, she still looks, she's still got prim and proper, but you can definitely tell she's kind of letting her hair down a little bit. She's got much more of a menacing look in her eyes, and she's sort of sitting somewhere or standing around pacing somewhere. Jeremiah is there too, and we see the blue and black portal open, and Lionheart walks out. And so she looks, oh, took you long enough to realize I was home, Russell. Sort of looks, you know how much I don't like the proper version of my name, Mother. And it took me so long to come find you, because I had to dodge Seraphim and his new bunch of merry men that you brought with you. And she just has this she has murder in her eyes, as he says them. But I'm here now. And he looks over at Jeremiah. And who might you be? He just sort of looks, doesn't say a word, looks over at Blackheart. He is of no concern to you. He is an associate of mine I met on their world, and we have an agreement. He helps me. I get him back home to where he needs to go. It's not our world, nor is it their world. Quite simply, really. Now, as for you, I have something I need you to do. And we turn the page. And we are back at Stormbreaker Tower. So we have Oliver and Anton and Malkier sort of in the barracks room just having their kind of conversation. So, as I was saying, the President and the Otter and the Squirrel, they went off to Virgo to deal with the attack. I assume they'll be back shortly because, well, the attacks don't ever go very well. In the meantime, we've been out doing some scouting, and strangely enough, there's been nothing going on, which is even more concerning than if there was something. Well, aside from a rampaging mechanical dinosaur down at one of the schools, but that's neither here nor there. That was taken care of. Yeah, so that's the interesting part, is that there's been nothing going on here.
But yeah, I understand the concern, but like, take a day off on vacation?
As soon as we let our guard, that's
I
what
didn't say let your guard down. I said take a vacation. There's a difference.
I will take a vacation when this war is over and Blackheart is eliminated.
All right, well, let's get this over with because I want to go home.
It's not quite that easy. See, just because we have people who know how to get content, it doesn't mean we can do a full-scale assault. Even if we take her out, if we do it in the shadow, then there's still going to be a war around because someone else can take up the mantle. We need to bring it public. We need to have it be seen that we are taking care of the problem that is that. I was told I can't repeat that word, so I'm not going to.
All right, then. So how do we do that, then?
I haven't the foggiest.
I have an auditor that likes water skiing.
Yes, because that's going to draw her.
She knows we're here, right?
Yes, but she's also got an army of minions to do her bidding. She'll be just as content to sit back and do nothing. We have to find what she is trying to achieve and get it. So it forces her to come out in the open. The problem is, I don't know what the hell she's trying to do. And he just sort of slams his hand down on a desk or a coffee table right near him.
Malkier kind of just coughs and looks up and goes, "One trick of the assassin's trade. We play to her ego. We find out what makes her angry. She will come to us."
At this point, you hear a voice you clearly recognize as a Dr. Casey just goes, "That is an interesting proposition. The problem is, how do we play to the ego?" And you see a man you recognize firmly as Dr. Casey, but in just like a regular, like tan suit with a white shirt and a regular like tie. It's complete opposite of the Casey you know.
Malkier kind of just looks over him and raises his eyebrow and just goes completely deadpan. "So I see you left the circus."
So I've been told my counterpart's a little eccentric.
You could say that. But as I was saying, we play to her ego. We find out what drives her. We find out what makes her angry. We make her make a mistake, and that is how we catch her. And we make her come to us.
Well, we know what she's looking for. The problem is we don't know where he is.
She
However,
doesn't know that we don't know that.
right. What she does know is that Hugh, he points at Anton, and the two animals are. She doesn't know about you. This could be our ace.
We're trusting everything in Malkier? Oh, God.
He looks at Malkier. What do you feel about robes?
About what?
About robes. You know, wearing robes and other various accoutrements that would perhaps make you look like a squishy spellcaster.
As long as they're flame resistant and gets the job done, I suppose I could try it.
Well, we know who she's looking for. We make it look like we have you. It's really that simple.
I'm not cutting my hair.
I might know somebody who can doctor you up a little.
If they come out with makeup, I'm incinerating them.
Yeah, if you consider magical illusions makeup, then go ahead.
Malkier kind of just nods and leans back against the wall.
Oh, by the way, if you're who I think you are, you'll find a couple things you'll enjoy in the drawback.
Malkier kind of just shakes his head, knowing what's coming.
If you do go over to the couch, there are a couple of Sudoku books in the coffee table. And they're not
Really?
even baby's first Sudoku. These are actually like good Sudoku.
At least it's not a farmer's almanac.
Ouch. So with that, we will turn the page back to Virgo. And y'all have just been invited back to the presidential palace.
I mean, we definitely.
Oh, yeah,
I thought we
Lutra-
would already be there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lucha was definitely wanting to go.
So I'm assuming you get there through Seraphim's rush of feathers.
I mean, Seraphim gets there that way. I don't know if the others do.
It'd be nice if you gave us a lift.
Right, yeah.
Well, either way, once you arrive, you arrive.
Ooh. Goodness, and this is in Bay City?
Ish.
Huh.
I wonder if our base city has something like this. We just didn't know it.
I was gonna say, I don't remember seeing anything like this. Can't say I ever really looked for it, though.
Wait a second. How big is this place?
Lutra, give me an insight check. You'll notice that this location, in terms of other like scenery and stuff surrounding it, is the same exact location that the Oakland A's stadium was in.
Oh.
Time to raise your marks, everybody.
Oh, this is where
That's
that...
because we all failed so bad at that one.
Right. This is where that baseball stadium was.
Baseball?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a sport where you take a stick and you hit a ball. And you're supposed to get it really far, but usually somebody catches it, and then nothing really happens for about, like, 3 or 4 hours.
I know what baseball is, but since the
Oh.
humans sort of went into their cities, we haven't had baseball in a little while. I mean, we didn't really before then because people lost interest after mutants started tweaking the game to their liking, basically by using their powers. So,
Oh, that's no fair. We kind of fun to watch, but it's
yeah.
probably not very fair.
So yeah, we don't really have baseball anymore. A lot of the stadiums have been destroyed, but they never had one in the Bay City area.
Oh, yeah, we had one in the Bay City area. Let me see here. Oakland, I think, was the city of the team. And something about the A's. I don't know why they called them A's. It was a really weird name.
That's odd.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I actually never registered either.
So, yes, Lutra, if you're interested, up the right-hand stairs, take the hall down the right. It's going to be the 4th door on the left for the kitchen.
Oh! Oh, great. Yeah, absolutely. How many people should I make food for?
I believe we may have a party of 30 that we could get for you if you'd like to cater to that.
Sure,
Wow.
absolutely.
30 people? That's a lot of people, Lutra. You sure you can do that many?
I did it last time I made food at Dr. Casey's place. Well, I don't know how many people it was for, but I made enough food for 30.
Fair. That's true. You did make an awful lot of... Okay. Well, awesome. Are you gonna need any help in the kitchen there, Lutra?
I might. That's a lot of people, and so why don't you come with me and see if you can give me a hand?
Actually, if you can go ahead and start getting things like set up, I kind of wanted to ask Mr. President something.
Oh, sure. I'll go there. See you there.
Yeah,
Lutra-
I'll be there in a flash.
Lutra really quickly scampers off because he looks really excited.
Our comic is going to stay with Kestrel and the president.
Right.
Mr. President? I was kind of wondering something. We have sort of an idea of our Dr. Casey from our world, but you probably have a better idea of your Dr. Casey from this world. Do you mind if I ask you a bit of a question about him?
I'll answer to the best of my ability.
How good of a guy is he? Like, Dr. Casey in our world is super generous. He gives you a shirt right off his back. Like, is Dr. Casey here a really nice guy too?
You know, it's funny because the only other person I know from your world is Stephen Strange. And he said that the Dr. Casey in this world reminds him of someone very specific from your world. I don't know if you know him, but it's the only name that I was given for comparison. But he said he's very, very much like the Tony Stark from your world, where he has a good heart. You just would never know it by talking to him.
Well, that's reassuring. That does explain the way he kind of felt a little bit standoffish when we were talking earlier.
He has good intentions. It's just his method of getting there is not always the most morally constructive.
I see.
But do know that with any plans that I have, with any insight or intel that I need, I do trust him just as much as anyone else.
You see, I'm just kind of worried about something. Like, with Dr. Casey here, definitely being for this world and kind of the first impression he gave off, I was kind of worried that there may not be as much care put to us getting back to our world, as long as we solve the problem here. And I just kind of want to make sure that's not going to be the case.
Well, if you only have met Dr. Casey here, I could say that worry would be very valid because, once again, his insight and his intentions are good when it comes to protecting this world. Morally, he may take shortcuts, and sacrificing those who are not of this world may be one of those moral shortcuts that he would have taken. So, know that I won't allow that, and we will do everything to get you back. But I hope that gives you a little more insight into Dr. Casey.
It's enough. Thank you for that, Mr. President.
And thank you for trusting me. I know that this must be very strange walking into or dropping into a world that you don't know and being asked to fight basically the antithesis of everything that I stand for, and trusting me that you are fighting on the right side here. I mean,
We are taking a lot of stuff on faith, but we have a pretty good feel for people, especially Lutra. He's actually a really good judge of character. And I don't know, you seem like a pretty reliable guy. And also Salome's evil, so that's kind of a good thing for us to follow.
yeah, as I said, you guys came here, and a few of the names you mentioned are ones that I can trust.
Have you actually ever been
Remember,
to another dimension?
I have not. I cannot afford to leave here. But the communications that I've had with Stephen Strange and the names that he's given me as sort of his intel for Salome on your realm makes me trust that you guys are good to have good to have here, and will provide us good support. And as I said, trust me, your deeds will not go unrewarded.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. That does feel really reassuring. But everything seems linked back to that Stephen Strange guy. I hope we can get a hold of him again.
And we turn the page to a very, very large, industrial-sized kitchen. And we just get a comic panel of Lutra, who the only description I can give you is kid on Christmas morning.
Oh yeah, wide-eyed, like smiling for one of the first times in this book.
So
By the way, the presidential kitchen has 15 like industrial style stovetops, a flat top for like grilling and stuff like that, and pretty much more ovens than you would ever need.
Nice.
Wowzers.
Well, remember, the president does do
Major
a lot
events.
of hosting.
That makes sense.
So, for those of you who have it on your card, get ready to go ahead and mark off culinary roll, because it's about to happen. And I will cede the floor to you.
So before I start, I guess I should ask: is there any limitation on ingredient proteins and whatever they've got in this kitchen, or is it pretty much free reign?
No, the president would have everything that you would want.
Okay, so Lutra goes about, and I'm assuming there is like a kitchen staff or something like that, but Lutra comes in and he starts.
If not, Kestrel's there in 5
Right,
minutes.
yeah, Kestrel comes in, right. So he just starts in by going into the pantry and he's looking at everything. It takes him a good amount of time, but he finally just starts like grabbing things and bringing them out to the different workstations and whatnot, and he's getting Kestrel to kind of help him out with like bringing him things, but he's kind of taking care of a lot of the prep work. Except he has Kestrel like chopping vegetables, because you can't really screw that up too much. So Lutra makes like about like 10 different kind of dishes that are all like large serving style of just like everything you find, like different types. Like there's at least 4 different types of fish that are made. Again, these are made for as if 30 people are going to come by and have them all. And he makes like 10 different sets of things, including a dessert of creme brulee. There you go. So, as I say, he's stocked. He's ready for this party. There's different types of chicken dishes, a couple of beef dishes, but mostly fish. There is a vegetarian option because he felt like making one.
It's considerate.
I guess the question is, Seraphim, are you inviting the crew from Stormbreaker Tech over or not?
Seraphim calls up Dr. Casey.
So we flip the comic back, and we're at the... we just basically have the line of, I know if you consider illusions makeup then, and you hear the phone ring. I assume it was a false alarm then?
Never is. You guys hungry? The otter that's with us apparently likes to cook.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, I will let Oliver know to let the kids know, and they'll be over shortly. Also, I think we may have a way to get Blackheart to come out in the. And the last comic panel there is just before we go back to the Seraphim show, we just get a look of him with this Tony Stark like smile on his face. Go ahead.
And what would that be?
Make her think we have what she wants. I'll explain more in detail when we get there.
All right, just to let you know, her son was up at Virgo as well.
Oh.
So we'll be meeting with her.
So we turn the page, and as is customary here at Bay City Comics, we have our 2-page in-comic ad. And of course, we all know what it's for. This is, of course, the ad for Kestrel Crunchies. Now a new zesty cheddar flavor.
Yay!
And we have a little anecdote in the bottom that says, if you or someone you know has a farming addiction, please call, and lists the number. And we turn the page, and now we're going to be, back at the presidential palace. And at this point, we have the group of kids has sort of arrived first. This is, Oliver, Rebound, Ven is there. A couple other people who you guys haven't seen before. Let me throw up some pictures here for people. So those three look fairly normal. And then there's this one.
Scyther.
Yep. So
Clearly a friend.
Yeah, those four all show up. Like I said, there's those four. There's Rebound. There's Ven. There is technically it's not Rebound. It's Hunter who shows up because there's no way he was getting away with. Anyway, we didn't talk about that. Oliver, Casey, and Casey and his two are the last ones to walk in. So I'm not sure where Lutra and Kestrel are, but
Lutra's still in the kitchen making sure every single detail is like perfect.
And by the way, Kestrel's not doing so hot, I don't think, on cutting the vegetables, at least not super accurately.
They are
He does his
cut.
best.
Yeah, they're cut. They're not cut well.
Yeah, Lutra said had to go back and like redo half of it.
Yep.
It's like, no, you know what?
I thought they liked the big chunks.
No, okay, you gotta make them even or they don't cook. You know what? I'll just take care of it.
Amberell would have been very disappointed.
Right?
What you're saying is Kestrel's cutting would have drove her nuts?
Yes.
So at this point, everyone's sort of milling about in the presidential palace. You can tell that the kids have kind of been here before because they're sort of, for lack of a better description, they're sort of like the president's superhero version of the Baker Street Irregulars. For lack of a better description. So Kestrel, I'm assuming, is out with the president, and in walks Casey, and Anton, and Malkier?
Hey, it's that guy that... Kestrel doesn't actually flap the answer. Oh, you missed it, Anton! There's a big fight, and there's all this wham bam, and Lutra did a really cool healing thing, and Seraphim's actually really awesome. And his name is we'll talk about that later. But it was really cool.
I beat the tar out of a guy.
Aw, good for you.
Malkier is kind of just scanning the room, just to take everything in almost, since everything's new to him still.
So Lutra comes out like wearing a little chef's jacket that he found someplace.
Because they happen to have one exactly your size.
Well, 5 foot tall chef.
Actually, it's not too.
Yes, but that has a tail hole.
No, his tail's just kind of hanging. It's a chef's jacket, so his tail's just kind of hanging out the side. But so he comes out with carrying like some of the last of the dishes out to the buffet area, and whatnot, and he sees all the rest of you guys. And goes, oh, gosh, hey guys, hey, check it out. We've got all sorts of food. Malkier?
Oh, right, he didn't come with us. How'd you get here?
Oh my gosh, it is you. Wait. Is this the you that we know, or are you the you from here?
He looks just like them. No?
I fished him out of the bay.
Malkier just kind of reaches into his dust shirt pocket and flips Lutra kind of tuna fish.
Lucha looks at the tuna fish and says, Oh, yeah! He runs up to Malkier and hugs him.
Malkier looks really, really taken aback, but he does do like the awkward one-arm hug and just kind of like pats Lutra on the head.
Oh,
Skitchy.
Right. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh gosh, I'm so glad you make it. Lutra puts back and says, How did you actually get here? We came here via spaceship.
That, Lutra, is a long story.
Oh, okay. Well,
Probably not suited for present company.
right. Okay, gotcha. But later, you'll have to tell us later. But right now, I've got a lot of food to make sure it's getting put in the right spot. He turns around and says, No. You can't put that there. That's not warm up. You heat it up. You gotta put the stardust on first.
As you're looking around, the person you're yelling at is the giant silver mantis-like thing who has managed to turn the two sides into, like, for lack of a better term, like, some sort of pincer-like appendages, and is trying to put the serving dish down on the chafer, and it's really not working because they're bug pincers.
Right. Oh,
Like a T-Rex with his tiny arms trying to pick something up.
Right. You know what? Here. No. Thank you for trying to help, really. But let me. I totally got this. Thank you so much. You should probably eat. I didn't really make something for. Well, there's gotta be something here you'd like to eat.
You do realize that I can eat normal food, right?
Oh, no, I didn't actually realize that. So the good, because it's all sorts of normal food here. For everybody, great. And there's sweets at the end of the table too.
You look over, and the two girls are both trying to sneak some of the sweets away from the end of the table without you noticing.
Hey, guys, come on, there's enough for everybody. It's okay.
So, who exactly are you?
Oh, hi, my name's Lutra. I'm new around here.
Yeah, we've been informed. He looks around, and he puts out a scythe to shake your hand.
At first, like, ah! And then it's like, oh, okay. So he moves just up and like,
Felix. And yeah, we just get this really awkward picture of Lutra just like flat up against the scythe and just shaking.
Right, yeah. Like reaches up, just like, thank you. What did he say his name was? I'm sorry.
Felix.
Thank you, Felix. It's good to meet you.
You actually notice like a bit of relief as he's talking to you, or looking around and sees both you and Kestrel. You two can go ahead and give me an insight check if you'd like.
This is one of those things I think I know, but
you probably do. Lutra does too. Kestrel definitely does.
Yeah.
You definitely get the feeling that he's, even though there's a bunch of superheroes and stuff in this world, he looks like a monster. Like an actual. Like, you saw the picture, so the fact that there are two other people who don't look human, who are acting human in the room, he is much more at ease than he was when he walked in. Like, just the fact that you two are there has just put him sort of at ease.
You got a
Aww.
fast friend. Kester does make sure to introduce himself as well as he sees this guy kind of talking. Oh, you gotta be one of the superhero teams too. Like,
Kind of. Yeah, we take care of the minor things in town, but mostly we are just scouting and helping out the president. Although we seem to be missing one.
oh, who's not? Who are you missing?
He looks around. Nope, never mind.
Okay.
And you get the impression that he might have just said something he probably wasn't supposed to.
So while that's going on, Malkier kind of just like walks into the room and grabs a plate of food and kind of puts himself like in the corner so he can watch everyone without someone going up behind him.
Lutra is also like after like everything's finished and like out and whatnot. Lutra does grab himself some food too, but he's kind of like also standing not in the corner, but standing kind of a back, just kind of watching everybody eating and seeing how everybody is enjoying whatever he's put out, and he just looks unbelievably proud right now, and much less tense than he has been.
Kester actually does a small circuit around the room. After he's like getting like a little plate of something, he kind of looks around a bit, looks at the group that came with Casey, and he actually looks a little bit dejected. But he finds himself a spot at the table, probably next to Felix because he seemed friendly.
For the record, the size of the plate of food that Felix has constructed himself is basically the only way I can describe it is Scooby-Doo sandwich. Like, this thing...
Oh dear.
This thing is gigantic. Also, that was my glass from this morning that I knocked off. Don't worry about it.
Nice.
I mean, this thing is Scooby-Doo sandwich levels of that. Like, everyone else is eating off a plate. He's eating off of a buffet platter.
Wow, that thing's taller than me!
Okay. I
You're
didn't
short.
I didn't
Yeah.
expect.
Don't rub it in.
I hope there's enough.
I only took a little bit of everything, except that vegan thing.
Oh. Yeah, no, it's fine. I just made, because there's always like one person who wants something like that, so I made something like that. It's got mushrooms and
Ooh.
like some pasta, whatnot. It's actually really nice. Not really something I like much, but bell peppers, that kind of thing. It's kind of nice.
So Casey is making sure that he's sitting next to. Casey is sitting next to Seraphim, and he goes, "Oh yes, the plan we were talking about." And he points to Malkier. See that guy down at the end of the table? He is the only one that she doesn't know is here. What if we just convince Lionheart to use his illusions to make him look like Stephen? And make a point of showing that he's back. That will draw her out, won't it?
Depends. His illusions don't portray personality? Can he act like Steven?
No. But we don't need him to act. We need him to look the part long enough to get her in the open. By the way, you should probably introduce yourself properly.
Properly as in Seraphim, or properly as in how everyone else reacted?
That's up to you. You know my position on it. I hate formality. I'm going to call you Gail like I always.
Fair. So the president at this point gets up and walks over to Malkier and extends his hand. Well, I guess I'll skip all the other formalities and just introduce myself as Gail.
Malkier kind of just eyes him up and down and reaches out and takes his hand and goes, "My name is Malkier, and I suppose I'm your bait."
When you shake his hand, your hand goes ice cold.
So Malkier would start channeling heat down to his hand then.
Doesn't change.
Malkier kind of just gives him a smirk. Nice to meet you, Iceman.
Iceman? No. Bobby's on the other side of the country.
That was ears perk. What?
No, I assume that you can control fire.
I would repeat the joke I made earlier today, but yes, I can.
Yeah, I can suppress it. So, yeah, it's fine. But I wouldn't use the term bait. You are our distraction.
I'm perfectly fine with being bait, but you can call me whatever you wish. I would like to know exactly what's going on, though, since my compatriots haven't really filled me in.
How much do you know?
Well, in my line of work, I make it a point of knowing things. However, I'm woefully unaware of what's going on at this point. I do know that we are up against someone that potentially is troublesome.
Potentially is not a description I would use for Salome. Definitely troublesome would more accurately describe. But apparently, you all came here when she did. She failed.
No, I didn't come with them, actually. I came afterwards. I came a different route.
I didn't say like she did. I just said you came here when she did. But, yeah, she obviously failed in her attempt to merge the worlds. And because of that, she's not a happy lady. So yeah, I'm not sure really what to expect right now. I know that she'll probably be having a lot of people come to her aid though. So I hope your fire can actually catch things on fire.
I wouldn't be concerned about that. However, I would be concerned if you actually know everyone in this room and exactly what their backgrounds are, because I guarantee you one of them is most likely working with her. And Malkier just scans around the room a bit, not trusting everyone at the moment.
I can tell you I trust every single person in this room.
Well, I hope your trust is well placed.
That's a great line for the next panel of the comic, which is a black and blue studded portal appearing at the foot of the table, and Lionheart walking out of it.
Oh, he's just in time.
Hey, Lionheart. I think there's enough food left here.
He looks around. Unfortunately, I'm not here for the food, and I will grab some later. I've got my first mission. And it's brought me here. He looks around and looks directly at Anton.
What did I do?
You did nothing. But apparently, I need your ring. And that's the last panel of the comic. As we close the comic cover, we get a back page ad. This time, letting people know that Bay City Comics Presents has launched a new comic line. This one entitled Next Gen. And it's telling people to keep their eyes peeled to the comics account, or the Chronicles account, because they'll be letting people know about the next time we'll be seeing the next gen comic here. Rumor has it that it might be a special holiday release on Labor Day here in America, which is tomorrow for those of you watching this live, September 2nd. So keep an eye and an ear out for that. There may be a special holiday release of the second Next Gen book. So with that, we're back to the norm here with no combat. But on behalf of my four fellow interventioners and the interventionee, that would be Dark Falls, Chameleon Ice, Crimson Avix, OPT Lawyer, and Narestra. I am TGE. Wishing everybody a wonderful evening. If you are in the States watching us live, a wonderful holiday tomorrow. And reminding everybody to, of course, as always, keep hailing.